welcome to another RSR. Tonight we're reviewing Toronto FC 2, DC United 0, MLS 2025 Week 12. Toronto FC wins their first home game of the season. Both wins they've had were clean sheets, but they've won a home game 2-0, and honestly, they deserve this one. They deserve to win this one. If they didn't, it would have sucked. If they lost late because they didn't score and lost 1-0, that would have sucked. If they drew 0-0 while having the offensive performance that they did, that would have sucked as well. Because this team deserved to win this game because they were the better team by far. I will say that right now, Toronto FC was the better team tonight. Point blank, period. DC United, the first half, had nothing but a hope and a prayer. One shot. Toronto, 14 at the half. They were the better team. They outplayed DC all night long, which is crazy. This is the best game of Toronto's season, and I don't know if they'll ever touch that again, because here's the problem. Who thinks this will happen again? Right. There's part of me that's like, hey, maybe things are starting to go well for them. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe something's going right. Maybe they can win. Or it could also be just a one-night thing. Maybe. But Toronto wins 2-0. Two good crosses lead to 2 goals. One was an own goal, but it works. That's what happens when you put pressure on. Do we still need a striker? Yes. One that can actually finish? Yeah, I would say yes. But halftime, 0-0. Toronto were the better team, again, by far. DC United had no hope. Zero. Zilch. Barraza was working his ass off. I will say this. They put so much on Barraza that he had to do a lot. If DC got the draw, he certainly, or won, he would have been the man of the match. Now, he's not because they lost. But Luis Barraza, man, he did as much as he could, and they still let him down. I feel sorry for him to a certain extent because they threw him under the bus. They threw him under the bus. DC, the rest of those players threw him under the bus. I feel sorry for Luis Barraza because he did all the work he could through both halves, and probably with a knock because he was hurt in the first half. I'm surprised he kept on going. I'm surprised he didn't get pulled. I would have thought, hey, you know what? I wonder if he might get pulled. No, he did not. But second half goals were scored as follows. Theo Corbianu makes a run, crosses it in. Lorenzo Insigne dives, heads it into the far post. What a header, what a diving header, just goes down because it goes so low that he could still reach it and dives to head it in. Probably could have kicked it in, but he's like, screw it. Let's just shock somebody. Goes low for the header. 49th minute, 1-0 Toronto FC. And honestly, they deserve that goal. With the way this game has gone, they deserve that goal. Point blank, period. 66th minute, ball crossed in. Lucas Bartlett taps it in for an own goal. It goes off his foot. Brynhildson's right by him. And it hits Bartlett's foot first. Goes past Barraza. 66th minute. 2-0 Toronto. Bartlett, the former St. Louis City man, allows the own goal or scores the own goal. Toronto's up 2-0. And they would hold on to it for the rest of the game. 2-0 full time. A clean sheet. Let alone a win. Toronto FC wins. They're above Atlanta on the table with the better goal differential and same amount of wins. They're above Atlanta now. They've gained a spot. They are 13th in the Eastern Conference now. They have gone up 2 spots. Lovely. And Montreal still beat us on penalties. What are we doing? Either way, full time, 2-0. The season ain't over yet. There's room to get to the playoffs. Bad start. We could still figure out a way. It's not so over yet. That's a little bit hasty, but do with that what you will. Full time, 2-0. Full time stats, 19 shots to 15. 9 shots on goal to 5. 48% possession to 52% possession. 408 passes to 80. 434 pass accuracy, 82% to 80%. 13 fouls to 17. 0 offside to 0. 1 yellow card to 0. 0 red cards to 0. 4 corners to 5. Toronto FC wins 2-0. Man, they deserve this. This performance was their best performance this season by far. Even better than the Can Champ game because they won. This is what you want to see. Maybe Robin Fraser's right. Maybe this team does have a way to figure out how to play like this and get into a better position as the season goes on. Maybe they are starting to figure it out. This is a good sign. Winning this game is a very good sign for Toronto FC. They absolutely dominated DC United. DC United did not have a shot in hell of winning this game. Toronto dominated them. Toronto, this was the best performance of their season. Dominant. The better team for 90 minutes. Throughout the whole night. The better team. All night long. They deserve this win. Point blank, period. DC United did not look at all like a useful team tonight. They looked horrible. Luis Barraza almost saved their ass. He didn't. The bad thing is he did so much work, he deserved better than a 2-0 loss. A 2-0 loss. He deserved better. The rest of that team deserved the loss. That's how bad they were. That's how useless they were, DC. The rest of that team deserves the loss, not Luis Barraza. He's the guy that made this probably better than what it could have been. This probably should have been a 3-4, 5-0 loss for DC. Let's be real. Luis Barraza should get man of the match consideration because he kept it to 2-0, but he lost. Man of the match for me, Lorenzo Insigne. He actually had a really good game and he scored a goal. So since he did, I know it's a low bar. Hey, man of the match for you. Good job. Sean Johnson didn't have to do much because Toronto didn't give up much until about after the second goal. Luckily, they still held on to the clean sheet, which is crazy. So somebody's getting a washer-dryer combo, or maybe a fridge, or maybe a microwave considering it's LG now. I don't know. I prefer the microwave, but that's just me. I prefer the microwave. But Toronto wins. And they deserve it. They were all over DC United. Point blank, period. They were all over them. And they deserve this win. It was so dominant that honestly, I'm just so happy it happened. And frankly, there isn't much to say. Toronto was dominant. DC was useless. Toronto wins 2-0. And there you go. We move. 10 points. Second win of the season. First home win this year. 12 matches. 4 points off DC. 4 points off DC this year. I wish we could play them every week. But we can't. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe, you know what it is. Tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed, send some chats on the live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlists, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. Tomorrow, I will see you for a live watch-along and review of Toronto Maple Leafs at Florida Panthers Game 4. Hopefully, Toronto FC winning today doesn't mean the Leafs lose tomorrow. I want the Leafs to take it back to Toronto to where they can win it on Wednesday because we will have a double live watch-along on Wednesday when Cincinnati comes to Toronto in MLS and Florida comes back to Toronto to play the Leafs in Game 5. But the last time we did a double, here's the good news, they clinched. The last time we did a double that had the Leafs as part of it, couple of weeks ago, they clinched that series. So maybe that'll be the same. I would hope so. With that being said, we'll find out. But Sunday, we're live and review. Wednesday, we're off till Wednesday. We'll be back for a double live, double review on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday off. Wednesday, we're back. We might be live Thursday, depending on what happens. Sunday and Tuesday, or Sunday and Wednesday. And then, wait, no, Friday, my bad. Friday. We will not be live Thursday. Friday. There we go. Friday. I forgot, it's not Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. With that being said, Sunday on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday on, Thursday off, Friday, we'll see. Saturday on, Sunday, we'll see. With that being said, I will see you tomorrow for the Leafs, and hopefully we get 2 out of 3 this weekend. 2 out of 3 this weekend. Can't have a perfect weekend, I know that. I just hope this win doesn't mean Leafs lose both at Florida. That would suck. With that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Let's go.